WayneBreezie, Mo's Nose, Peachy, Fair to Gone.
It's about that time, everybody turn your TVs on. The Mo's Nose, Peachy, Breezy, and Fair to Gone. They keep it nitty gritty when they bring you nine to tone. We two gorillas, silverback, nah, silver
You know it's
hoes.
busting good discussion cause we get it in. Every time you know we grinding, I was 8 to 10. We always play to win. The faithful going hard. It's WayneBreezie, Peachy, Mo's Nose, and Fair to God. Let's get it.
Nitty gritty, this the line is tall. Don't like it, better take a walk. Nitty gritty, this the line is tall. We outline players up in chalk. Nitty gritty, this the line is tall. Don't like it, better take a walk. Nitty gritty, this the line is tall. Line is tall. Nitty gritty, this the line is tall.
What's going on? 49er faithful, the nitty gritty Niners talk crew is in the building.
Look who we found.
He was hiding under a rock, you know. Hiding under there. I don't like that one. I gotta find a single overlay. I gotta create an overlay where it fits us perfectly. Let me see, get the 3. Oh, that's good. That works. That works for now. What's going on, everybody? Hope y'all doing well. Happy Monday night, Labor Day afternoon out there on the West Coast. But it's definitely Labor Day evening over here on the East Coast. Time to get in bed in a couple of hours. You know what I'm saying? Kids got school in the morning. They going to school to damn near next July. Like, you know what I'm saying? So, but welcome to the Nitty Gritty Niners Talk Show. It's good to have three of us here. The whole squad is not here. Fair still
Three
waiting.
quarters.
I was about to say 3/3, and I'm like, that's a whole, Wayne. That's one. But Fair will be back. He has football practice, and he's waiting for his schedule to man up. That youth football team is doing some things over here in Connecticut. So shout out to Fair in his absence. Peachy, Mose, what's going on, family?
Then I better let Mose talk because ain't nobody heard from my brother in a long time.
He could do the whole episode, right?
Like,
and
you
we
could
just
do
sit
the whole
back.
thing. We just
Peachy,
sit back and chill.
Peachy, you man the chat, right? And I'm just gonna I'll end the stream when he's finished. How about that?
Oh man. Yeah, I mean I can start. Yeah, I've been taking care of some things, handling some business at home, just making sure home base is good. I've been on here and I've talked about it a lot. Y'all know how important my family is to me, and just making sure that we good and everything is copacetic at home. So just taking care of that, making sure everybody is good. Everybody is good. Still some things we working out, but it's all positive. I appreciate the love. My brother and my sister holding me down, checking on me, reaching out, making sure I was okay. Shout out to everybody in the chat who reached out. Miss Deb has been amazing. She's always reaching out just to make sure that I'm good and make sure that we good over here. And I'm excited. I'm in a space where football is back. You know, football is back. 49er football is back. The summer went by super fast. My kids don't start school until Wednesday. So we just, putting the last pieces together to make sure that they good going to school. And so they'll start Wednesday, and then Thursday we got the first game of the NFL season. And then we got a game Friday, right? Eagles and Packers.
Eagles, Packers. Yeah.
And then Sunday, and then our 49ers wrap things up on Monday. So it's going to be a busy week in the NFL. And I'm, ready to kick this season off with my two brothers. Shout out to Fair, my sister Peachy, with all you beautiful people. So let's get it cracking.
Oh, what a freaking intro. That's how you start the
That's
show.
right.
Peachy, you didn't have to work today. So if today was manic, I don't know what to tell you.
No, it was absolutely beautiful. Now, tomorrow, however, it's going to be Terrible Tuesday because it's it's the beginning of the month and we got to do end of the month inventory and so and for some reason corporate forgets that everyone's off, not just them. So they want this now they want this, and you have to remind them, look, we were all off. It wasn't like anybody was here working or anything. Like, so terrible Tuesday. Peachy's not gonna be in a good mood tomorrow because
I don't think you should like
have a lot
make
on me.
make it a terrific Tuesday. Like
The only way that it will be a terrific Tuesday
is if you speak the
is
word.
somebody else that starts with a T signs tomorrow.
Okay.
Yeah, but your
That
job
would be
would
great.
But
I like
but
how
then
she spun that.
that
It
was
would
dope.
change everything.
Yeah, sort of, kind of, because the last time stuff was happening at work, they was mad at you. So I don't want that to happen. So you need my suggestion, right, is when you wake up in the morning, you speak positive affirmations into your day. Today's going to be terrific. No matter what they say, what is it? 1, 2, 3, 2, 1, 1, 2, 3. Can't nobody with me. Like, speak these positive affirmations into your, like, just try it. It might work. It may not work. I don't know. I just hate, and then we all go through stuff throughout our daily walks and things like that, and we do. So if I can be a positive affirmation to anybody, especially to you two, I will do my damnedest best to be positive and be that positive affirmation. But now if I'm having if I'm having a messed up day, just let me have my day. Let me have my moment.
Right.
Okay, we gotta get to 8 minutes. We were close.
We were so close.
It's nighttime though. It's not during the day. I am really good during the day.
I know.
You might get a 1,
Yes.
right? But I'm really good. I gotta do better because my mom's watching. So like I gotta do
Hi,
better.
Mom.
Hi, Mom. Sorry, Mom.
Mama Brown.
I hope
Sorry,
she forgets. The one time I want her to forget. I hope she forgets this one. But yeah. So look, man, we got some Niner stuff. A little news to talk about. But you know what I like? We're gonna be changing our format for the Monday show because since Nitty Gritty, we get together on the first of every week, which is that Monday. We kind of kick off our week with the overreaction shows after the game. So we'll continue to do those, but on Mondays, I want to start already flipping the page and start really diving. So everybody's going to have to step their game up. I want to get into this next team. I want us to do that recon. I want us to look like we're scouts and we stealing signs. I'm just playing. I just had to throw a shout out that the dumb kid from Michigan, because not to say he was doing anything, but that's a whole nother conversation because everybody was stealing signs, number one. Number two, them Ohio State snitches got us in trouble. And that's what happened. So it's going to go back and forth till kingdom come. That's what I'm thinking. It's just going to go back and forth till kingdom come. Anyway, that's what I want us to do. I really want us to start digging and getting a little bit deeper into our opponents each week. We got the Jets coming up.
I like that.
And then after that, we got the Vikings. And I don't know about you, but I feel like we should start this season off pretty much smooth sailing now. There's the big question mark, and the big question mark is Trent Williams. And I definitely want to get y'all takes on the Trent Williams situation. Right now, I don't believe it looks good for the 49ers to prepare him, especially with the moves that they kind of made today. Just in case you didn't know, they signed offensive lineman Brandon Parker, who is probably now currently the swing tackle, right? He could play left, he could play right, and that's what they were testing him out in the preseason. So that happened today. And so I'm slightly concerned, I'm slightly concerned. Mose, how you feel about the whole Trent Williams situation?
I think we've always had an issue with this organization, like dragging out these extensions. Every year it seems like they drag the extensions out further and further and further and further. Obviously we saw that with Ayuk. Thankfully that got wrapped up. But with Trent, I know Kyle loves Trent. I know he has an affinity for Trent. But I'm also wondering, like, is this maybe a changing of philosophy, a changing of the thought process? Because Trent is older. He's, 36? And while he's still the premier left tackle in the NFL, he is getting older. And if you have time to groom his replacement, even if it's not for the long term, even if it's just for this season, and just get somebody in there early, get those reps now so that later on in the season they could be prepared, then maybe this is something that Kyle is trying, because Trent is 36 years old. And every year we've seen him get more and more dinged up. He's more banged up. He's more injured. He's missing more time. Not a lot of time, but he's been more consistently missing time than when he was in his prime, right? So I don't know. It does worry me, because you want to go into the season strong. But do we need him for the first couple of weeks of the season? Knowing how Trent practices, knowing how Trent prepares, knowing how he trains in the offseason, like he would bring running backs down. So like Adrian Peterson went to train with Trent Williams. Trent Williams didn't go train with AP. Adrian Peterson went to train with Trent Williams and was like, yo, the workout that he does, like, that really showed me something. So we know he prepares. We know he can get his body right. But at 36, can he miss the first couple of weeks of the season? Can we start off strong and then slowly ramp him up? And that way, maybe he's there for the longevity of the season. If we're trying to make the run that we want to make and we're capable of making, it's possible.
It is possible. PG, what you think? That most put out a good take. Is Kyle trying to change the philosophy? And if you feel like he is, my question to you, Peaches, is like, why the F now? Like why now? Like, we right here on the brink of a Super Bowl championship. So why now?
It really, like, Mose spoke a lot of truth. I like that way of looking at it. But I'm almost like with Breezie, like, why are we doing this now? I mean, we have a game Monday. Like, what that doesn't, to me, it doesn't make any sense. I'm with media. Ancho, it makes me more nervous, because when I saw that we have Parker now, it's kind of like they're preparing to do this. And I don't know if it means that Trent is going to come back when, like, later on in the thing. Maybe they're just so far apart from what they're trying to do that he's just never coming back. He's at home with his girls and his wife, and they're everything is, probably really comfortable for him in Texas and all the things that he has going on. I really believe what Breezy said, like, about a month and a half ago. He may be contemplating retirement. He may look at that and he may be like, hey, if they're not going to be able to, give me what I feel like that I'm worth. And let's face it, Trent Williams is the best player on this team when he's out there. The best player. So, I mean, and if Trent's not out there on that left side, there are so many things that cannot happen that would make our offense formidable when he's not out there. And it's just, I don't know, the nightmare of these teams that have these really great defenses, knowing that Trent's not out there and how they're going to attack is just going to be, I don't know. It really makes me nervous. I just have a bad feeling. Now, I could be wrong, because I looked at Lynch and Kyle's body language, like, less than 24 hours before Ayuk got signed. And I said that nothing was going to. So I don't know. I just have a really bad feeling. I feel like that with Trent accomplishing as much as he has, the only thing that pulls me away from that is I do remember him talking about this record that he wanted to break and why he was coming back. I don't know what the record is. I'm sorry, I can't remember. I just know it's something that he wanted to accomplish before he was done. And it's the only thing that keeps me a little bit, maybe he might, because of this record. But I don't know if he has to play a certain amount of games or what it is that he has to do. So I don't know, guys. I have a bad feeling that he's really strongly contemplating that.
So you feel like he's contemplating the retirement?
Yes.
Yeah, that's fair. I mean, like, it's a possibility. You have to throw out all the possibilities. So like what Mo said about him possibly. I had to look it up though, Mose, because this cat ain't declined. Like this cat came to San Francisco. He played 14 games, 15 games, 14 games, 15 games. That's his average. I feel like that's what Trent gonna give us. Then you asked, like, do we need him for the first few games? And I don't know where I did this. I do too many shows, but I swear I think it was on Bleacher Report, and I was going through the schedule, and I said, hey man, we could get by. It's gonna be a gritty Monday night game. We could get by, but then we should obliterate the Rams. We should annihilate the team after that, and the Vikings and the Patriots, right? And the Cardinals.
Vikings, Rams, Patriots, Cardinals.
Yeah, all winnable games with or without Trent Williams, and so I think the
I'm
hardest.
Not worried about none of the pass rushers,
right?
Because I mean, if you look at the Jets, right?
Yep.
No Hassan Reddick because he wants a new deal.
That's
Correct.
right.
So they got Jermaine
He's
Johnson,
holding out.
Will McDonald.
I like Will though, but I don't know if he's gonna be ready.
I don't know if he's gonna be ready, and he's undersized. So I feel like our tackles, they might lose on speed, but I think the trade-off is they're not gonna get bullied, right? So
I hope not.
That's one. Minnesota, they no longer have Daniil Hunter, so I'm not worried about any of their edge rushers. Jerry Tillery, no, and they run a 3-4. Who Andrew Van Ginkel and Jonathan Greener? I'm not worried about those dudes. So Minnesota's out as far as pass rushers. Los Angeles, they don't have Aaron Donald anymore. Coming off the edge is that young kid, Byron Young. But other than that, not anybody that I'm scared of. Then the Patriots, they just traded Matthew Judon, so we don't have to worry about him. I mean,
the Cardinals, the
Cardinals, they have zero. So, absolutely zero pass rush.
I totally I know that's what it is on paper, but it seemed like the weaker the pass rush, the worse the offensive line plays.
Right.
Like, when they got to play against top tier guys,
yes,
they be prepared. So that's the thing, that makes me worry a little bit about the offensive line when it comes to that.
I hate to start this so early in the season, but whose fault is that?
You can't blame the team. They drafted Dominic Puni. They're going with guys that they had. They can't. First of all, the team can't pay everybody, right? So it's not like you could pay, unless you suck for 5 seasons straight and you're just picking offensive linemen, you're not going to have that offensive line that you're thinking of. So you got to find a way to fill in the gaps with free agents. They didn't have money for that. And
No, I'm saying, whose fault is it that our offensive line plays like trash when there's nobody top tier across from them?
Whose fault is it?
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. Whose fault is it?
I blame Kyle.
Why?
Because he doesn't have his team prepared to go up against anybody. Okay. Because my thing is, why does your level of play slack off when you play inferior competition?
I think some guys just don't have the abilities, right? Like, you're hoping they get to that apex in their game, and then when certain players don't get the reps because you got a Trent Williams out there at that left tackle, and now you're trying to figure out, I got these tackles, right? Like, I got to get him some reps. Trent, get hurt so I could get this guy in, and we could see. We saw Jalen Moore have some spurts of good games. We saw Colt McKivitz is starting because he had spurts at good games. That doesn't mean he's a starting tackle, but when he was a backup tackle and Trent Williams was down, that 2022 season, I believe, Colt McKivitz was like, oh, snap. Now, I think McKivitz played better on the left side, but the right side is a little different. And I'm going to be honest, I get what you're saying. And between Chris Forrester and Kyle Shanahan, I can't blame Kyle for expecting his players to execute the plays because that's what they're supposed to do. But I think at the end of the day, when you get the brain farts, I can't blame Kyle for Spencer Burford having a brain fart.
Yeah.
Like, he was in the right position. Matter of fact, Chris Forster took the blame. Because that was dope, right? You can't blame Kyle for that. He was in the spot and he just went that way. So, like, they have brain farts. Now, as far as their abilities to be able to do certain things, be honest, man. I don't think Colton McKivitz is terrible in the pass protection game. I think he's horrific in run blocking. And so, like, we're worried about Trent being there to protect Brock and things like that. I'm worried about running to the left side. I'm not going to lie.
Yes.
Like, Christian McCaffrey, I almost don't want to start him week 1.
That's
and
what I'm telling you.
first.
Hey.
Hey, I'm just saying you got him.
I rebuke you in the name of Jesus. We just had our fantasy draft
I'm not saying
I had the number 1 overall pick.
You better have
CMC. I rebuke you.
It ain't my fault.
Don't you speak that into existence that CMC not start week 1. Don't you?
So my whole thing is I think I go back to flashbacks of last year when Trent wasn't in the lineup and how bad that we looked whenever he wasn't there.
We couldn't run the ball.
We couldn't we couldn't run the ball at all. And I'm just
and that's what
that's key.
That's honestly what I was getting to is the mindset. Like, obviously, when you play against top tier talent, when you play against somebody like Aaron Donald or Chris Jones, obviously everybody is more locked in and focused because they know, hey, if I make a mistake, this guy's going to ruin the game for our offense. I'm just, from a coaching standpoint, whether it's Kyle Shanahan or whether it's Chris Forster, you got to find a way to get these guys to lock in for 17 plus weeks. And I know it's hard and I know it's difficult. And I know it's the NFL. You're going up against the best talent possible. So there's going to be ebbs and flows. But those brain farts that you talk about against what we deem to be inferior defensive lines, and then they show up against us and we can't run the ball. We can't protect Brock Purdy. And the offense looks like crap when we're like, yo, we don't know any of these dudes. None of these dudes would start for our defensive line. So it's like, how do Kyle and Forster, from a coaching perspective,
prepare those guys?
Get these guys prepared to lock in, even when we may be going up against inferior defensive lines that should not be able to outmatch us, outwit us, out-physical us at the point of attack.
That's a great question. I think you gotta leave last year behind you. And you got to focus and forward and say, hey, these guys got another year of continuity together. These guys probably understand each other's body language, know where to be, because when the starting offensive line, even the backups, when they played in the preseason, they looked like they had some type of connection, some type of synergy when it was a specific unit out there. When we started mixing and putting pieces in out there, that's when you started to seeing a little brain farts. But you didn't get a lot of penalties from the offensive line, which to me is the key, right? Like, less penalties, right? Less mistakes. But I think, Mose, for me, I think I've taken last year as far as what the offensive line did, and I'm putting it behind them. Now, I feel that as an overall unit, the absence of Trent Williams should help this offensive line get better because certain players are getting reps. If this offensive line can stay healthy, and I'm not saying they're going to be as good without Trent. I'm just saying the fact that Trent wasn't there, I think they spoke about this in the press. Like, listen, Jalen Moore is able to get all these reps. Like, that's a great thing, right? And so now we're going to really put him up to the test because now he's got reps. And I think that, to me, is why you get brain farts. That's why certain players don't reach certain high points in their game or elevations in their game because they're just not out there. They're backups. So when you're a backup, bro, it's like, yeah, man, when they call me, I need to be ready. That's the mindset. Now, everybody doesn't have that type of mindset. Everybody don't have that gift to just go from 0 to 100 real quick and bang out. But I think with the Niners now, Jalen Moore started with this offensive line unit. Jake Brendel is going into another year as a starting center. Colton McKivitz is his second year as a starting right tackle, right? We're seeing some progression there, and we're hoping that they get better in both pass and run blocking. So, it's going to be tough without Trent, but you just told me that you just sat here and said that week 1 through freaking 5 are all winnable games. So we should be good. Should be good.
So my whole what I want to add to that, if I can, is that not only does the O-line need to be in cohesion, but your offensive players also have got to, because everybody's going to have to block their ass off. Let's just keep it real. Like when you're not in the in the play to catch, you need to be blocking. That goes for anybody that's out there. Like the best offensive blockers for this Jets game, like they need to be out there. Because, Kittle, Ayuk, like all of them, whoever is not involved in your offensive play that you're, focusing on needs to be blocking their ass off in this game to help this O-line out.
Yeah, but when you do that, you're taking away from them being able to make plays. So it's a gift and a curse at the same time.
Well, that's what I was saying, when they have the play set up, whoever is involved in it, of course they would. I'm saying everybody out there has their own function. I'm saying like they're just going to have to focus a lot on blocking, because I feel like that we can run the football against the Jets really good. But the only way that we're going to be able to do that from that left is we're going to have the offensive players helping out to block, because I don't know. You're right. We have to leave last year where it is. I do have a lot of faith in Purdy on the right side. I never thought that I would say in a million years that our right side looks better than our left side does, but it does. And I feel like the teams are going to be attacking that left side because they know that Trent's not there. So I just feel like it's just gonna be different. And we'll see.
I think they attack the left side. They're gonna have to draw up some exotic type blitzes and things like that. Because I don't, like Mo said earlier, I mean Jermaine Johnson may be able to beat one-on-one Jalen Moore, but that's what the Niners want, right? The Niners want one of these tackles to get a one-on-one, because what you said is, it would be cool to not have Kittle always helping on one of those sides. You know what I'm saying? And so Kittle can feast. Well, they got a great secondary, so I'm not going to say that they don't. I like their secondary, but I don't think any safety in the league can cover George Kittle unless it's Budda Baker. Like that's the only person I feel like that will give Kittle a run for his money, and Kittle gets that's a boxing match. One wins one round, one wins the next one. Like they go at it, right? Mm-hmm. So I just feel like we can definitely so PG, we got the best. I feel like the 49ers overall as a unit just are the best blocking. But the key to the 49ers offense isn't just the blocking. Like the key is timing, right? And so I think with the offensive line, it's like, y'all better be where y'all need to be, because the play gonna be where it needs to be on this particular time, right? So don't be a legal man downfield. Mm-hmm. Don't be this. Don't be that. Like those things. Those things are the things that I'm worried about, because you don't have the veteran out there making sure that the offensive line's in check. And everybody is wants to see, what Jalen Moore can do, what Colton McKivitz can do. All right, I'll tell you what. We'll pick an offensive lineman. If you could pick an offensive lineman, who is your spotlight on? And I'll go last. But who is your spotlight on? We'll start with Peachy, we'll go Mose, and then I'll go last. If you guys get mine, I won't go at all.
Okay, so my spotlight, it's on Purdy. It's I want it because of that right guard spot. Like I'm really, really wanting to see how he holds up in that, because so far he's looked great. But like people say, preseason, so we'll see what happens when you have, everything coming at him. And
that's a good point.
Right. But so the spotlight for me is definitely on Purdy.
All right, so we got one for Purdy. Mose, who would your spotlight? Who would the Mose spotlight be? The nitty gritty Niners spotlight, just on the offensive line.
I was gonna go one place, but then I'm looking at it and I'm gonna go to another way.
Okay.
And that's if he plays, because he's listed as questionable. But I think my spotlight is going to be on Aaron Banks.
Ooh, contract season.
This is simply because he's built chemistry next to Trent. with Trent not there, how does he play? Is he looking for the same cues that he would normally look for when you got the silverback to the left of you? Does he feel like he has to overcompensate because Trent is not there? When you got Trent Williams, if I walk into a bar and I know I'm in hostile territory, am I going to run my mouth a little bit more when I got Trent Williams next to me?
100%.
I just put an extra zero behind that.
I'm not no little dude.
Nah.
But if I got Trent Williams next to me, I know I'm good. If I don't got Trent Williams next to me, if it ain't my brother Breezie or my brother Fair, then I might just be a little bit quiet because I don't know what this other.
Just a little bit, Mose. You a wild one, dog. So I just want you to know, like, you. I don't even know if you would taper it off a little bit. You a little different, but I thought I was different.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying?
Because let's not.
But don't put us
Phil.
together though, because we ain't gonna have nobody helping. We gonna need Trent to pull both of us off or whatever.
Yeah.
Oh, them security guards in Philly was about to get it.
That was
Bro, I'm so glad we don't play in Philly this year unless it's like a playoff game.
I'm done with them.
I can't
Me
go back
too.
to that city, man. I'm just
shit. So
I like that though.
My spotlight is gonna be on Aaron Banks because I want to see how he plays.
Yes,
and he don't have Trent to the left of him.
I love it. So you got the rookie. You got Aaron Banks contract season. I already put out he gonna have an all-pro season. Then the dude go and break his pinky finger. So is he questionable? Will he play? He better play. Contract season.
Yes.
Let's say it one more time. Aaron Banks, this is where you put up or shut up. The Niners have zero problems walking off away from a lineman that they drafted. Don't be that guy, right? Like go out there, put the stamp and the seal on your game, bro. I would like to see more power running. Now I'm game planning. My bad. But here's my player. It's Jake Brendel. It's the center.
Yeah.
I need Jake Brendel, to elevate his game mentally, physically, right? All the elites you could think, spiritually, lovely. I'm making up words now, but my point is, I need him to up the game. You are the starting center for the best team in the NFL, and it's time that he starts to receive that. Sometimes I feel like he ain't received it yet. He's not a bad player. He's not a bad player at all. Some games he run blocks very well, but he might be just the second best run blocker on that offensive line. And I know that sucks because it's Trent. And then I think Jake blocks very well. Pass pro is a little different, but as far as run blocking, he's out there on that second level. He has the ability to get out there. So I need to see if Jake Brendel is upgrading his game, because if Jake Brendel is the glue and he can have that offensive line in sync without uttering one word, then you'll know. It don't matter who in there. Now, I'm not saying Trent doesn't make it better, but as long as that offensive line is in sync and they know where they need to be on run plays, pass plays, things like that, that's on Jake. Slide in those protections. That's on Jake. Run to the right, slide to the left, whatever. He's not changing the plays. He's not calling out the Mike linebackers. He's just sliding protection because he can sense something, and he doesn't even have to utter it out. That's the key. Being able to talk without talking. If Jake Brendel has that mindset, we talked about mindset going into this season, I think the 49ers offensive line will take a jump up in the right direction. You know what I'm saying? Because it kind of really starts with the center. We want the best left tackle. We need the best left tackle. But I think if the center gets better, the offensive line will flow a little bit better. And so we'll see what happens. I'm not saying that Trent's not going to be here. PG or Moses isn't saying that. But as of right now, Trent's not in camp. So we're having a conversation or whatnot. Again, the 49ers signed Brandon Parker to a 1-year deal, and he's on the active roster. And that, to me, is what's kind of like kicking me I'm like, what? He's on the active roster, no practice squad. And remember, he's a veteran, and he plays both ways. So the Niners will get that versatility out of Brandon Parker. Woo! It's gonna be crazy. It's gonna be crazy.
It really is. When we get into it, like, I have something to say about the quarterback.
About our quarterback?
Yes. About our
Brock
quarterback.
Purdy? All right, talk about Brock Purdy. You want to talk about Brock Purdy? Talk about Brock Purdy.
The only thing that I was going to really concentrate on is that Brock Purdy is also in a contract year. This dude is trying to get mega bucks next spring because they can't touch anything until then. So that's what he's doing. This man, Brock's probably looking around like, man.
Nah, Brock gotta figure
So
out.
Trent is just not just no, huh?
That's what I'm saying. So
Wow.
like Brock gotta come out there and be like, all right, Trent not here. The Niners ain't making sure he here. He gotta be like my man Serrano from Major League Baseball and be like, F you, I'll do it myself. Like that, we get that Brock.
They
Oh
have
man,
to.
it's a wrap.
Yeah, because
it's a wrap.
with him having, more experience in crazy situations, let's get and everything that he supposedly has learned, he's excelling in. He's probably multiplied by 1,000 in as far as him being mentally fit, mentally ready, everything. He looks good. Hopefully, he's going to be able to start getting that ball out quicker, which would be really good because when you do have a problem on your O-line, well, I'm not going to say a problem, a weakness on your O-line. It's not as strong. Then the most important thing for you to do is to get that ball out of your hand as soon as you can. Like you can't be sitting back there playing around because they're not going to be able to block forever. So we got
Brock's defense though, because you know me, this defense. The motherfuckers can't get open. So if players aren't getting
that's
open,
true too.
where he supposed to throw the ball?
That's true too.
So
I'm with you.
Now, luckily we got Brandon Ayuk here, but Brock don't always see Brandon Ayuk, right?
Right.
And so at the end of the day, like the reason why he's holding on to a ball is a couple of reasons. It's not because sometimes they'll blitz and he's got to get the ball out, but he's got to know what his hot route is. And so like that's what I'm talking about. Like if Brock, Jake, whatever, if they can call that hot route out because they know the blitz is coming or whatever, boom, that's a quick release and somebody's not covered. So you get it to the person typically that's not being covered, right? But let's say offensive line blocks and no one's open. What is he supposed to do with the ball? Like he's gonna not turn it, try to not turn it over. You don't want to throw it into double coverage. Can he run? Can he escape? Like it all comes down. I just want Brock to play free football mentally. I feel like mentally last season he was being weighed down. Like he was every time he tried to do something, every time he tried to show what he could do off schedule, it got reprimanded. Like he got in trouble.
Yes.
And I'm just like, like that's part of growing. That's part of learning. If he turned the ball over, he turned the ball over. But at the end of the day, on this particular play, he didn't. So maybe when he sees it the next time, it'll be an even better throw, an even quicker read, or even whatever, right? And so when it comes to Brock, I don't have issues with Brock. I have issues with Kyle Shanahan not allowing him to just play football. Sometimes you just gotta let these kids play. And I that's my only issue when it comes to Brock. I feel like he makes this mistakes that he makes is because he overthinks.
Right.
And if he doesn't overthink, he'll be fine. Go ahead, Mose.
Breezy, what's one of the things that we complained about a lot last season that we didn't see from our play caller when it was obviously there?
Adjustments,
No.
time management. I'm trying to think.
Nope. And what's one way you can help your quarterback when you don't have
fucking check down? Like, where's the check down? Okay, that's my thing. I just want the check down. There's an and? Okay, go ahead.
The screen game.
Oh yeah.
What's one way you can help
I'm nervous
out your
about the screens
quarterback?
now. I'm nervous about the screen game. I'm nervous
Why?
about the screen because Trent not out there now, so I'm a little nervous about the screen game. I don't know. I don't know about this blocking,
especially with these two young speed rushers that we'll see against the Jets and Will McDonald and Jermaine Johnson. If they got one-on-ones against Jalen Moore and McKivitz, and they're flying off the edge to get after the quarterback, once they get upfield, they're out of the play.
Oh, I understand. I
so
get
my
it.
thing is, dump it off to Kittle. Throw the
We
screen
haven't seen
to
a tight end screen in
CMC.
forever.
And let them then do the work, because now the two guys that you got on the edge coming after the quarterback are way up the field and out of the play. And now you got our skill guys against their linebackers, who CJ Mosley, while he's a good linebacker, he's long in the tooth. Quincy Williams
He's
is
a good tackler,
not.
though.
He is a good tackler.
He's a good tackler. I guess all I'll
But
give him.
against the athleticism and the agility of our
He
guys,
won't be able to keep up.
I'll take our guys every day.
100%.
Quincy Williams, same thing. He's a thumper, but speed, agility, quickness to keep up with a guy like CMC or a guy like George Kittle, I don't know. So my thing is, at least early on, let's see a little bit more of the check down. Let's see a little bit more of the screen game while they're sitting their pass rushers, because they don't respect our tackles.
If we're running the screenplay, I would love that. Like, I'm not going front. And it doesn't have to be running back screens. This will probably be a big wide receiver screen game.
Yes.
So expect your Deebo Samuel and those type of receivers to feast against this Jets defense. The thing is that I know Robert Saleh knows that the 49ers are going to run that. The question is, will they be able to stop it? And I don't think so. I think Deebo is way too physical, and if you get the ball in his hand rather quickly, he's going to make people miss. That's what I think is going to happen. So if we see the screens, but bro, the check down can be utilized. All you got to do is keep one. If we got two tight end sets out there in the football field and George Kittle could be a check down instead of being down the field, everybody else could be down the field. Let George Kittle be the shit down. I want Yak back. I want the Yak game back. I want my Yak bros, my Yak bros. I want Yak back. That's what we're known for. And I feel like we still get it, but it ain't like how it was when we were the Yak bros, right? Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I would like to see them do some more short dumps if that's what the defense is getting. Because it all comes down to, real talk, it all comes down to how they defend. The 49ers defend that way. The 49ers say, I'm putting my safety 85 yards back down there so you're not throwing the ball down the field, because if it's light, slow, whatever he's catching is an interception. And I'm going to give up the underneath routes. But no team is built Yak-wise like the 49ers. So if they play somewhat similar to that, if that's what Robert Saleh's 4-3 defense is going to do and play off coverage, I believe they're going to try to play physical. We can get that, and they give up the underneath, it's a wrap. Like, the Yak game is going to be crazy. I can tell you that right now, because the mentality of our players are totally different. They get the ball, they're not trying to go down. They're coming at you. They're not trying to be. They're not trying to get. They're not trying to make a miss. They're not trying to. No, that's how you tear your ACL. You just run through the person.
Right.
Like, right? Like, I miss that. I do.
Me too. I miss that
throwback.
too.
We on the same wavelength, bro. I didn't see the comment because I'm talking, but we're on the same wavelength. I miss the Yak. It's still there. Don't get it twisted. I could pull up our Yak yards from last year. It's there, but it doesn't seem prominent like it used to be, because we're attempting to throw the ball down the field a lot more, get big gains that way, big run plays now, explosive runs. And we got some new weapons. So, you know, Jacob Cowing, Isaac Garendo, most talked about speed and them being able to match up. Not a lot of teams going to be able to keep up with the speed, the physicality, and the speed and the violence. We talk about the defensive players being violent. Let's talk about the offensive players and their violent streaks.
Oh, yeah.
It's like a smooth violent too, right? Like, it's like, I'm gonna fuck you up, but I ain't gonna come at you hard. I'm just gonna, like, you know what I mean? It's smooth. Like, the defensive players, I feel like they talk it and back it up. The offensive players don't get in my way, because I'm gonna run you over.
Especially if it's Debo.
Especially if it's Debo. But Jawan Jennings, I think, is the most violent receiver we got. Well,
absolutely, Jennings.
And that's another thing. Their slot, Michael Carter, is that their slot nickelback? Is that their nickelback?
Yes, Michael Carter.
He won't be able to cover Jawan Jennings.
Oh no,
I'm putting it out there right now.
And he's questionable, so he's dealing with a little something.
Bro, I don't care if he was full grown, gone, whatever, new leg. I don't care. He's not covering that big guy. He's not covering Jawan Jennings. This might be. I'm just saying. Most put that blueprint out there. Look for the screens, and I think that the 49ers are going to take advantage of the slot.
Yeah.
I mean, why force it to the outside when they got DJ Reed, they got Sauce Gardner? So, not saying that
No, excuse me.
God bless you. Not saying we're worried about those guys, but if it ain't open, don't throw it there. take advantage, and that's what I need from Brock.
Yeah.
Take advantage of what the defense is giving you. This year's the year where you do that. You do that, you will be mentally one of the greatest quarterbacks that ever played this game.
Oh, yeah.
And that's what I want to see Brock do, grow in that area.
That would be
Because
great.
he was really good at it. And he had his one very, very, very bad interception game against the Ravens. Every quarterback's going to have that game. Ain't nobody complaining about how Josh Allen used to throw 4 interceptions a game, 10 games in a row. It's like 40
that's
interceptions rookie season. No one complaining about it now because look where he is now. And that's why I said earlier in the show, let's kind of leave the past behind us. I know we can use that as a blueprint. We could kind of go back, but they might progress just a little bit because they've been together all camp long. So let's see. We won't know until we see. I tell you what. I'll tell you this. And then I'm going to shut up for the rest of the episode. If Javon Kinlaw gets a sack, I'm buying everybody that watched the show a Big Mac. No, I'm lying. Y'all don't need to eat that stuff. I don't eat that stuff anymore. But I'm saying if he gets a sack, that's a problem.
Yeah.
Because he can barely crack a sack with the Niners. Then we could trash this offensive line.
But he's going to be motivated.
It is his former team. Isn't it true that our former players always play their best games when they play against us?
And they got Kinlaw, Solomon Thomas, DJ Reed, Isaiah Oliver.
Oh, shoot. If Isaiah Oliver even gets a tackle.
Listen.
I respect Reed.
Yeah.
I ain't going front. But if Solomon, let's do something like
Lord.
If Solomon Thomas or Javon Kinlaw or Isaiah Oliver get an interception, we got to do something for the faithful, yo.
Got it.
Oh, Lord.
We'll do something. I'll figure it. We'll give something away. I don't know. Something. Because now we got a serious question about this offensive line.
Yes.
Because I know none of them 3 people I just mentioned did anything for the 49ers, period.
I don't know. In preseason, Chase Young acted like it was the Super Bowl all over again.
In a preseason game, Chase Young was full Monty Python and the Holy Grail out there. He couldn't be stopped. It was like he was auditioning to make the roster. I'm like, bro, they paid you.
And he made the roster.
I think you're going to be on this roster. You got a lot of guaranteed money, dog.
Exactly. But I'm serious. Man, he was everywhere.
Well, we'll see. We'll see what happens. All right, let's get to these matchups.
Okay.
So what we're going to do every Monday, we're going to introduce a matchup segment. So there'll be 4 different matchups that we want people to kind of like pay attention to. And this is going to be interesting because even though I know their matchups, I don't know how they're going to explain the matchups, right? And so let's go. Let's start with who's on the inside. Me? All right, so I got Garrett Wilson and Diamador Lenoir. Now, I know a lot of people will be like, put Mooney Ward on Garrett Wilson. Nah. Put Mooney Ward on big-ass, fast Mike Williams down the field. Let him cover Mike Williams. Shadow Mike Williams. Mike Williams may not make it through the whole game, but like make sure it's Mike Williams who he's covering. I like that matchup there. You'll get more opportunities for the PBUs. And I think Mooney Ward he's a physical guy, and I think that is the matchup I would like to see on that side. But this matchup right here can be electrifying because if Aaron Rodgers is in sync with Garrett Wilson and Diamador is locked, I want that. I don't know who's going to win. I know I love me some Demo, but Garrett Wilson is a beast. I want to put that out there. He is not a slouch. He might not be good in fantasy football, but he's not a slouch. Ain't that your guy, Peachy?
Yeah,
where Garrett Wilson go to school? Yeah, I just want to make sure because Chris Olave and Garrett Wilson in the same year, right? Listen, all I'm saying is Garrett Wilson is that dude, and don't allow him to get activated. If I'm Demo, and if I'm, you know what? And I wouldn't even mind if they put a little Florida State on him. I'm telling you right now. I wouldn't mind. I'm telling you, I would not mind if they put a little Florida State on them. If you know who I'm talking about. Yes, number 0. Yes, 0. Not Samuel Womack III. Bernardo
The
Green,
new number
baby.
0.
The new 0.
The
I wouldn't
new
mind.
0.
But that's my matchup, yo. You got a sticky guy in coverage in Diamador Lenore. He's a big hitter, very sticky, good with his hips, turning down, getting down the field. They're going to try to work him probably across the field. So Diamador Lenore is going to do a lot of running side to side. He's going to have to find ways to keep up. I'm sure he'll be there to secure those tackles. I really like that matchup. What you guys think about that matchup?
Listen, with the way that Demo played its entire offseason, how he showed up to training camp, like the desire and the drive that he had and the plays that he made, I think he led the team in interceptions in training camp or something like that. Like he's so locked in right now. And what better of a test than somebody like Garrett Wilson, also another young up-and-comer who is a very good wide receiver. He's trying to put his name in that top 10, top 5 group of wide receivers in the NFL. So I think that's a perfect matchup to see, okay, you were able to do this in practice against players that you know. I want to see now how this translates. What has Brandon Staley been imparting? Because I've seen a lot of videos of Brandon Staley in one-on-one with Diamador Lenore. So what has he actually been imparting? What has Sorensen been imparting? He was a DB in the league as well. What have they been imparting? What tools have they given you that you've added to your tool belt? And now how does that translate to a real game? Not against dudes that you see every day, against somebody that you only got a couple of weeks to prepare for. How does that translate into the game, and what will we see from him? I'm excited for that matchup too.
Peachy, did you want to add anything to your Ohio State alum? Because you usually go hard. Why is it that? Wait. Why do I go harder for Ohio State players than Peachy?
Ooh, shade.
I'm just trying to figure it out.
Because I love to hear you gloat about my Buckeyes. That's why.
Nah. When they make it to the NFL, ain't no comeback. When they make it to the NFL, they especially the wide receivers, especially the receivers. Something about they. I know that we say LSU. What's the other receiver school? LSU. Bama. I feel like Ohio State should be in wide receiver university too.
Oh, 100%. I mean,
but I feel like they don't get the love.
Smith?
I seen him on.
Future 49er.
Definitely not a future 49er.
I don't know.
Definitely that dude going first pick.
I wish that he was a future 49er.
Okay, we are not drafting that high.
Yeah.
He is. He's a dog, man, for real. I mean,
okay. Enough of that shit. All right, so, cover Garrett Wilson.
Garrett Wilson is a beast, and Moses, right? He is looking to become a top 10 receiver in this league, and he's definitely on his way, especially with the number 12 back there. Or what is he now? 8? I think he changed his number, didn't he? Aaron Rodgers, did he change his number?
He's number 8, yeah.
8, yeah. Number 8 back there throwing him the ball. So, yeah. Yeah, he's a beast, man. All my wide receivers are beast.
Peachy said, now she want to okay, I got you. All right.
I mean, you either wanted or you didn't. So
let's go to this Iowa kid, running back Brees Hall.
Okay.
Against this BYU linebacker. I love college football, first of all. So we're going to get some college on this show.
Yes.
Whatever. So you got BYU versus Iowa. And didn't he roommate with Brock Purdy and Brees Hall, if I'm not mistaken?
Yeah.
Right? They were roommates?
Mm-hmm.
Yes. Peachy, take us freaking away. I'm so glad none of these motherfuckers went to Ohio State, though.
I actually went back to Peachy's Pieces, if anybody remembers from years ago when I used to do that, and gathered some information. So Fred Warner has allowed the fewest receptions over expected negative 29.7 as the nearest defender since he entered in 2018, including the playoffs, first of all. just a dog, for real. His rangy primary coverage and his insane recovery speed is what makes him so dangerous. And it's what Hall will have to be mindful about because Fred can adapt to any offensive scheme that you put out there so quick that even if they were able to switch up theirs, he would still locate Hall. He'll find him. I really believe that this is going to be the one that this could be a game changer for real. Hall is very, very fast, and if Fred misses a tackle on him, then he's gone. Because Breece Hall is amazing. He is also very agile, really tough, and can be hard to bring down. He can change direction at lightning speed. So Fred will actually be one of the few linebackers that will be able to change that direction with him because of how fast Warner is as well. And no matter what direction they put Hall out there, Fred's going to get to him. The linebackers are going to feast, and I think Fred Warner's going to have a big day.
Interesting. And yes, I do believe Fred. But you know what? If I'm the Jets, I'm trying to change. I'm trying to make Fred do some stuff that's a little different, right?
Yeah.
And so that's the matchup in man to man. I want Fred covering Breece Hall down the field for passes, getting in there. But you know who's gonna have to have a good game? Campbell.
Mm-hmm.
He's going to be your weak side linebacker. He's going to be that one that's got to fly across the field because they're going to use Breece Hall. Breece Hall, and I know people don't want to believe this, but he is, and no one is Christian McCaffrey. He's like one of one.
Right.
Breece Hall has those type of abilities.
Yes, he does.
The Saquon Barkley abilities, the Christian McCaffrey, the Josh Jacobs when he was still with the Raiders abilities. Like he has those, and he's 23. But he is coming off injury, so we will see how that plans out. I think, like Peachy said, don't miss no tackles, wrap and tackle, that fundamentals. You don't have to big hit him because he's a powerful back.
Yeah, he is.
Yeah. So, don't hurt
and
yourself.
He's tough. Yeah, be careful.
Tough kid.
Yeah,
tough
he is.
kid. Really like this kid. I like Breece Hall. He's fun to watch when he's not. Especially when he's not playing against your team.
Exactly.
So that matchup is kind of dope. Anything you want to add to that matchup, Mose?
No, I think this will determine the outcome of this game. Obviously, we know who Aaron Rodgers is, and we know the weapons that he has. But if the Jets are not able to run the football and control the clock and keep the football out of the hands of our offense, I think the Jets are going to have a long day. So this is a premier matchup to watch because if they can find a way with that revamped offensive line to get Breece Hall going, then this might be the Monday Night Football game to set the tempo for the rest of the Monday Night Football games for the rest of the season. Every other Monday night game might have to live up to this one, depending on if Breece Hall is able to get off or not.
Yeah.
I see where you're going with this. You talk about that 49ers. Oh, never mind. I see where you're going with this. And I do want to put this out there. Brock Purdy is 1-2 on Monday night. He is 1-2. The only time he won was against the Arizona Cardinals. He lost recently, and that was in 2022. And he lost both games in 2023 to the Minnesota Vikings and to the Baltimore Ravens. That was on Christmas. Just to put that little stat out there, I think Aaron Rodgers is 12-8. So take it how you want it. It's Monday night. Brock under the lights. Can he get it done? As long as there's no rain, Brock should be pretty fine, right? Like so. Somebody asked
as long as there's no rain, that's very important.
What Breece Hall stats were from last year. So last year he played 16 games. First, his rookie season, he only played in 2 games. He dealt with the injury. He came back last year. He was almost 1,000. He was almost 1,000-yard rusher, 993 yards. He had 5 TDs last year, 223 attempts. So he's their bell cow. But they did pick up Braylon Allen from Wisconsin, so they're going to their run game. We got just pay attention to their run game. All right. So he averaged 4.5 yards per carry. He had a big explosive run for 83 yards. Okay. Just want to put that out there. Like Peachy said, if he get ghost, he ain't getting caught.
Right.
He was targeted 95 times, and this is where I feel like he's going to be a little bit dangerous. Okay. So 95 targets, 76 receptions, 591 yards, 4 TDs. D's.
Yeah.
All right. So he is that piece. He's that special weapon. Like when I say that Saleh got their Christian McCaffrey, they literally do. Now he's going into his third year. And so, third year, he's probably going to go all hard out. He's probably super healed. And he's probably going to come out there and try to ball out depending on how they utilize him. So I really love that matchup. Fred Warner, I'm always for the linebacker running back matchup, but this is a tough one because Fred's got cover him.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? It's not like Fred could just dominate him because
Right.
in the run game. Now Fred's got to dominate in the run and cover him in the pass.
Yes.
I think we saved the best for last. Mo's got a 1A, 1B for this. I only used one for the graphics, so it could be 3 and 3. But we got Sauce Gardner versus Ayuk or Debo. So Mo's, I can't wait to hear your take on this, and then Peachy and I'll chime in.
Okay, so if y'all learned anything about nitty gritty pre-production, Breezy always puts these things out in his first come first serve. So I'm glad I put mine in first because he went with a wide receiver corner combo, but I gotta go with the premier matchup. We got Sauce Gardner, arguably the best cornerback in the league. When it's time for him to get his deal, he's getting paid. He's getting paid. And now we have our $30 million a year wide receiver, Brandon Ayuk. Now, $30 million a year, you better be playing. You better be playing, and you better be at your original snap count. I hope that you were training. I understand, he didn't do training camp. He didn't play preseason. He might not be in football shape. $30 million, you better find a way to get in football shape by week 1. $30 million, you got to figure it out. And the only reason why I have a 1B in Deebo Samuel is he may be on a pitch count because he was not in preseason. He wasn't in training camp. He might not get his normal volume of snaps. And if Deebo Samuel is having a really, really good game because he's been there, he's been working hard, he has, at least recency bias chemistry with Brock Purdy from going through training camp in the preseason. If Deebo starts to go off, don't think Robert Saleh and that Jets defense won't switch those matchups and put Sauce Gardner on Deebo to force Brock Purdy to go somewhere else. But if Brandon Ayuk is getting his normal snap count, if he's 100% ready to go in enough football shape to get through this game, as we mentioned and as Breezy mentioned earlier, our number one guy who is our best route running wide receiver getting open, then you best believe the Jets are going to have their best guy on him. And that is the fireworks that I want to see. I want to see the back and forth, the heavyweight blow for blow. Who is going to make the big play when it counts between Sauce Gardner and Brandon Ayuk? Let's get it.
Peachy, anything you wanted to add to that particular matchup before I ask Mose this question?
I just had one thing to say. Debo supposedly had the best camp of his life. He was one of the best people that was out there. So I expect to see that Deebo Samuel to show up on Monday Night Football. If Ayuk is on the pitch count, or if the Jets just switch it up, or or our offense switches it up, I want to see all this Deebo Samuel thing we're talking about, that Deebo's this and Deebo's that he's in the best shape of his life, that he's this and whatever. And that's all I want to say. I expect to see that.
That's fair. Listen, I expect them to win the game and do the right shit. So I don't expect none of that. I expect them to put this team in the right position to win the game. And I don't even think. Listen, I don't know if Sauce is traveling. Is he covering Brandon Ayuk? Is he shadowing him? I don't know, because I just feel like Sauce is an outside guy. Go ahead and put Brandon Ayuk in the slot on Sauce. That's what I want. Like, give me that. Give me. And so Sauce is that dude. Give me that, because he ain't gonna stop Brandon Ayuk. If that ball's thrown where it needs to be, and Ayuk catches that ball in front of him, oh man, it's a wrap, because he's getting open. He can whip it head back and forth, whip it route, twirl route, curl route, swirl route, whatever you want to call the routes. Ayuk can route you up So give me that. I don't think Sauce wants to get super physical with Brandon Ayuk because that's the dogfight you're really talking about now.
Yeah.
I could see Kyle Shanahan. Just hear me out. I guess if Sauce ain't trying to shadow, because I don't remember. I feel like Sauce doesn't play in the slot. I could be wrong. I'm sure he has snaps there. I don't know how well he plays in the slot. They might not throw it to his direction when he's in the slot because they try to respect him. What I'm trying to say is this: if Kyle Shanahan puts a 3 wide receiver set out there, you got Deebo Samuel working the underneath route. You got Jacob Cowing taking the top off the D. Sauce versus Cowing. Ayuk's open in the middle of the field, bro. Like Kyle. Oh, Kyle could feast this game if he has the mentality of what I'm thinking. He's got to take what the defense is. And that's why I said what I said. So a lot of people feel Deebo can't beat coverage. He can't get open. He can't do certain things. Whatever. Fine, cool. I'm not gonna argue with you. But at the end of the day, I just want them to be in the right place at the right time and find ways to make plays. And I think that's my expectation. So.
And Deebo is not the best when it comes to man-to-man routing somebody up.
No, it's not his game, though.
But it's not his game.
Mm-hmm.
Nobody ever said that Deebo Samuel was Devontae Adams.
That's why I said that.
Nobody ever said that Deebo Samuel was Keenan Allen. Nobody ever said that in a one-on-one matchup, Deebo is going to route you up. What he can do.
I forgot about Keenan.
Oh, Keenan is a
he's
monster.
A route technician. I forgot.
Route monster.
Yeah.
But what Deebo can do is what Breezie just mentioned. Deebo knows how to take advantage of what the defense gives him. And Deebo gets big plays, yes, because of Yak, but he always knows how to find a way to get into the open window.
Mm-hmm.
And that doesn't have to be because he routed somebody up and left the guy in the dust.
He just understands space, dog.
When he understands spacing. And I think what people need to understand is that is why Kyle Shanahan fell in love with the kid. He fell in love with him at the Senior Bowl because Deebo is good against zone and he understands spacing. And then that's why he went out to go get Brandon Ayuk. So I'm going to get the guy that can route you up, but I'm also going to get the guy that's great in spacing. So if you play man, we got somebody for that. If you play zone, we got somebody for that. And that has been Kyle's MO since he's got here. I'm not going to just beat you one way. I'm going to have multiple ways to beat you. I can beat you running the ball 30 times. I can beat you running the ball 20 times because I got this guy on the outside. I got this guy on the outside. I got this tight end who can do this. I got this fullback who can do a little bit of everything. He wants to have multiple ways to beat you so that when you come in with a scheme or you try to make adjustments, hopefully, even though we have issues with him, hopefully he can make the right adjustments with all of the chess pieces that he has and finds a weakness that he could beat you with.
Correct. Strawberry React says Deebo is good in zone. And so that's when you want to utilize him. And so for people that don't understand zone defense, zone defenders play in space. They're responsible for a certain percentage of the area that they're covering. And Deebo just like he's right in the space, and then it's just like, come and get me because I'm coming for you to run you over. Like most people move out his way, right?
Most of them do.
Deebo takes hits. He's not afraid to go across the middle. I think we can give that Deebo is probably one of the toughest receivers on the San Francisco 49ers. But at the end of the day, if you're telling him to beat man coverage, because teams are going to play man, they're going to play zone. If you're telling him to beat man coverage, unless you run, it's going to be tough. It's not his game. It's not what he does. It's just not his game. And so that's why I said earlier, I said, listen, I don't expect them to force nothing. Do what works. That's your zone buster. He's your man buster. And then you got this slot guy named Jawan Jennings that is just a mountain. And he's developed great hands. Let's keep it a buck. He didn't always have them, but he developed great hands. I wanted to make sure I wasn't taking a shot at you, bro. He's developed great hands. And so, like, it's not just third and Jawan. You watch what he did in the Super Bowl when he was in man coverage in the slot, right? they can't defend him. So
No.
now Kyle has a less expensive option. I'm not going to use the word cheap, and a wide receiver that I know can beat man coverage at the nickel spot. Juwan Jennings don't got to be fast. Just throw the ball to him, and they probably won't be able to tackle him because he's a physical runner. And I don't know, did Juwan Jennings improve in Yak last year, or was it just me? Did he get speed? Was he wearing Sonic slippers? Something was different about Juwan Jennings running after the catch. He was a lot better than what he used to be when he first came into the league. So
And me, when I saw the same thing, and I think for me, what I saw is just him being more decisive. Instead of thinking, okay, what move am I going to make? It's just, let me run forward. If somebody's in my way, let me see if I can run them over and get as much as I can get. And I think when you have that mentality, let me just get as much as I can get while protecting the football, instead of thinking, okay, I'm on a team with Brandon Ayuk. I'm on a team with Deebo Samuel. I'm on a team with this guy, that guy. I got to make all of these moves. No. Just be you. Get the ball, turn upfield, and see how far you can get.
Mm-hmm.
We don't need you to make moves. We don't need you to juke somebody out their socks. Lower your shoulder pads, run one of these smaller DBs over, and get as much as you can get. And so with that mindset, it just freed him up, because one thing that we'll always say about Juwan Jennings is he's a football player. Yes, he's a wide receiver, but he's a football player. When he's locked in and he could play free, that's when you get the best out of Juwan Jennings. So that's what I saw. We saw more Yak because I think he simplified it in his mind. Let me just turn upfield and get as much as I can get, and that worked.
Works for me. My whole point is that they're progressing, and that works for me. So those are our matchups for this week's game. Collie says, give me the Deebo versus Philly last season. So that was personal, though, Collie.
Yeah.
But if you're saying give me personal Deebo every week, that's what we need. I think Deebo's mentality is a lot different right now. You could say he's playing for a new contract. You can say whatever you want. I just feel like I'm watching him mature, as a young man, and that's really cool. You could tell the passion he has for his son, the love he has for his son. You could tell why he's playing football, why he goes hard, why he does this, why he does that. If you didn't watch Receiver, please just watch the Receiver show. I'm sure they showed you all the great stuff, but that's what you needed to see. You need to see the other side of Deebo Samuel, and then you'll see why he was sometimes ineffective last year, why he couldn't do certain things. Just watch it if you didn't get a chance to watch it, all right? 49er Media, Breezie, do you think we see Cal this? Yeah, I just said it.
Yeah.
Listen, listen, man. Kyle has the ability to mix it up.
Yes.
He has the ability to mix it up. He has what he thought Danny Gray could be in Jacob Cowan. And Danny Gray might have even been a little bit faster. But it's something about football speed and being able to get open downfield. And I would like to see that. Because the first play, I swear to goodness, if I see him burn Sauce Gardner, which is it's a wrap. He don't even got to get the ball. I just want to see the track meet. I don't think Sauce Gardner, he's fast. Don't get it twisted. Mm-hmm. That ball got to be perfectly thrown, too, because Sauce Gardner is taller and he can cover space.
Yeah.
But that's why I wouldn't test it. But the underneath stuff will be open. And that's what you want. Take Gardner out the play. Make your safeties make a play. Make somebody else make the play. You know what I'm saying? But I'm testing Sauce. I'll test him. I want to see if Sauce, how well is he playing press man? I want to see how well he plays working off the man. You got to test him. Don't not throw it to Sauce. But if you're going to throw it to your receiver when Sauce covering, you got to be confident and damn near accurate. Because if you make a mistake, it's an interception. He's good. Let's go over these picks. We're going to go over our picks. I just wanted to put this out. These are the picks for the week. NFL Network banged them out. Everybody picking the Niners except for one person. I'm not saying his name. So who wants to say his name? Peachy, you say his name.
Yeah, it's going to have to be Peachy. Because
Adam Rank.
Okay, so Adam Rank, how do the 49ers lose this game to the Jets? I think that's my question. Because the Jets not beating the Niners. But how do the 49ers, I hope you see what I'm doing here, how do they lose this game to the Jets?
Overconfidence, underestimating the Jets defense, and I think ultimately lack of execution on the offensive side, particularly running the football.
Okay. PG.
It's simple. If our O line falls apart, then that's
I
That's a
can
wrap.
tell, Peachy, you and this offensive line,
I'm t-
like you really don't like this offensive line. There's nothing wrong with that. Like, but
I'm gonna be paying so much attention to this O line. Like, just
I don't think this
Meh.
is the best test for the offensive line, because I if Quentin Williams and their other defensive Javon Kinlaw, if Javon Kinlaw gets a sack, like, it's gonna be hell. It's gonna
I'm
be
telling you.
Now, will they line Quentin Williams up outside like that? Now that is what is Quentin Williams kind of gonna get that Aaron Donald treatment? Like, now we got a little conversation about the offensive line.
I think Quentin could get that Aaron Donald treatment for sure.
Shoot.
I think, honestly, if we looking at defensive tackles across the league, it was Aaron Donald, it was Chris Jones, right? They
Yes.
were that was
Yes.
a tier all its own. Aaron Donald, Chris Jones, that was it.
Facts.
But in that next tier,
Now it's just Chris Jones.
now in that tier is just Chris Jones. He's in a tier by himself.
Mhm.
But in that next tier, the Dexter Lawrences,
I see where
the
you going.
Christian Wilkins,
Mm-hmm.
and the Quentin Williams. Quentin Williams.
Oh, you
might
putting
be
him in that
next
tier. Whew.
He might be in that tier. He's that good.
Can I ask you what tier is Javon Hargrave in? Because he's still ranked a top defensive tackle.
Yeah.
Yeah,
He's top 10. It's crazy.
I think he's in that. I think he's in that third tier behind those guys.
Mm-hmm.
Interesting.
And I think he's had a decent career, but I think his breakout season was on that Philly defense that had monsters everywhere across that defensive line. That
With
was
Fletcher Cox.
That was a Philly defense that set the record for sacks.
That was definitely a Philly.
So like that
special.
was a special unit, right? And he didn't bring that same production to us last year. And so
do you think it had to do with him just transitioning to a new team? Could it have been part of the scheme?
Yeah, I
Could
think
have been
all
his
of it.
health. Like, he just
Yeah, I don't think it was one thing. I think it was coming to a new team, getting acclimated to the system and the way we do things. I know Chris Kosaric, he runs his defensive lines much differently than a lot of other defensive line coaches in the NFL.
Good point.
Getting acclimated to that, figuring out how, your new teammates rush. Obviously, we had a lot of injuries on that defensive interior. Javon Kinlaw going in and out, so we had a turnstile of Javon Kinlaw, T.Y. McGill, Kevin Givens, this guy, that guy, this guy, that guy. So he never had any consistency next to him, where in Philly, he got Fletcher Cox next to him damn near every week. Fletcher Cox off a name alone is going to garner a lot of attention. Then you got on the other side of him, Brandon Graham. Wait, what? So I got Brandon Graham on the edge. I got Fletcher Cox, and then I got whoever they got on the other side, and then they got Hassan Reddick coming off the edge. I think maybe with more consistency next to him, and then in another year in the system, we might see that. But I think as of right now, I think you could probably put Javon Hargrave, even though he's still one of the top in the league. I think you put him on that third row just because of the slide in production and then the age.
Interesting. I had to ask because I feel like Hargrave this season is going to show up and show out.
Okay.
And the reason why I feel that way is because y'all two know how I feel about overcompensating, right? We talk about Fred Warner always having to overcompensate because when the moment Greenlaw's out, that Fred thought he could play all three linebacker positions. Now he's flying around missing tackles, overrunning gaps, doing this, blah 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 blah, whatever. I'm surprised he was able to make it through the season, right? Is it fair to say that Javon Hargrave overcompensated too because there was no Eric Armstead? You didn't have great depth to put in there. I ain't gonna mention these names, but like there was just no help, and so you brought him in to pass rush, not run stop. Is he a run stuffing defensive tackle? No. Can he tackle in the run? Yeah, but Eric was supposed to be available and just wasn't. The Niners specifically went out and got Malik Collins and Jordan Elliott in rotation. They're still bringing back. They brought back Kevin Givens, and then they got some other big dog. They got like Evan Anderson can find his way up on this roster. Like they got some big interior defensive linemen. You can't tell me that the Niners ain't looking to stuff that run and soak up them blocks so these linebackers could come down and clean up. I think you get more production this year from Javon Hargrave in the pass rush, which will help Nick Bosa. Because now, remember at the beginning of the season when Eric Armstead was healthy, they were going at it like Bosa, Hargrave, sack here, sack there. Like, and it wasn't a high volume of them, but I was like, oh, one of these guys is going to be the sack leader. And then the injury to Armstead happened. They started double. And guess who saw the most double teams? Was it Bosa or Hargrave?
It's Hargrave.
It was Hargrave. No one's paying attention to that. Everybody thinks he didn't perform his contract. Yo, they was coming at him. They took him out of games because they knew he could wreck shop. But I liked it because the Bosa, the Hargrave that we see, the Hargrave we saw training is like the Debo on the defense. Like Hargrave came into camp was like, not this season, y'all. Nah, you fooled me once, shame on me. So we'll see. We'll see how it all pans out. 49er Media says Gross Matos can play. I'm worried about his health because he is dealing with an injury. He was listed week to week opposed to day to day.
Yep.
And then they brought back they signed Sam O to the practice squad who had and I believe they did this in intentions of making him available for week 1. So I don't think Gross Matos is going to give us a couple of weeks in football. So we'll see what happens. We'll see what happens, but the depth on that edge got to be there. And if he can't play inside, he is a tweener, you're right. But I do like Sam O. He's a tweener, too. He could play inside, outside. 269 pounds. You could line him up. He's an edge, but he could play on the inside a little bit and help with the pass rush on the inside. It's cool having those quick defensive tackles because you're hoping they could just and get to that. Just get pressure in the quarterback's face. Force one of those erratic throws, you know what I mean? So, yeah. Nobody's feeling Jake Brendel. I love it. Uncle Phil's watching this joint now, and he's like, nah, we can't go through middle as long as Jake Brendel is there. Jake Brendel, man, he's not. Yep. That was last year, though. It was last year. Gonna leave it at last year. You're right.
Yeah.
You're right. Guys, what a great show. Before we go, I want to know from my nitty gritty crew, man, who you picking to win this game and give us a score prediction. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's what we do. It's super early. We got to give it to us early. You could go off of Trent Williams playing or not playing. I don't care. Who wins this game and what's your score prediction?
Niners at home Monday night.
Brock Purdy's 0-2 because I believe that game he played, he didn't play in that game against the Cardinals in 2022. I think that was Jimmy Garoppolo.
That's right.
Okay.
He
So
was just on the roster.
I am concerned about his Monday night record because we've seen with other quarterbacks that those things, for whatever reason, seem to matter, and they follow a pattern with everybody. So I am worried about that, and I am worried about not having Trent Williams. But I am going to go Niners to start the season. Phil took my score prediction as well. I'm going to say 24-17. Niners at home.
Oof.
Can I get the context behind that?
Behind the score?
Yeah, You know what I mean? Like, is it 17-17, fourth quarter, Niners, Brock Purdy get the ball and leads the team to a touchdown, or the Niners up 24 and they give up 17 points on defense? Like, give me some context. That score is too close for my blood.
It is very close, and now that you said it, it's probably going to happen that way, where it's 17-17 with like 4 minutes. Now, what I was thinking was,
that's why I asked for your context, not mine.
I was thinking that in the fourth quarter it'd be close to be 21-17. We drive down, get a field goal, make it a touchdown lead. The Jets try to drive, but then our defense holds, and we get the ball back. We run the clock out. We win the game. So, I felt like we was going to go into the fourth quarter with like a 21-10 lead. Then the Jets score, make it 17-21. Then we get the field goal. Defense
seal the deal.
We run the
I don't
clock
want
out.
the
That's
defense.
what I was thinking. I was thinking going into the fourth quarter with an 11-point lead. Aaron Rodgers try to pull something out, get them a touchdown, shrink the lead a little bit. We get it back up to a touchdown. Defense holds. We run the clock out. That's what I'm thinking. But now that you done put it in the atmosphere, you've been speaking stuff into existence all day, and I rebuked you earlier. I'm gonna rebuke you again. You've been speaking all of this foolishness into existence, Breezie, and I don't like it.
Okay. So I have a different score, and Marcus took the words right out of my mouth. I think there's going to be a lot of field goals in this game. I really do.
Wait, hold on.
I really do.
Hold on. Give me a second.
That's worse than 17-17.
Not for me. No, I'm the only motherfucker that believe in Jake Moody. Let's keep it a buck.
Oh, here we go.
Got a Jake Moody jersey on the way. Let me keep it a buck. I'm the only person. Y'all just got to chill. Let this kid kick. Now you telling me that it's going to come down to field goals, and you ain't the only one. I'm looking at the chat. Marcus, field goal fest. Oh, now everybody want Jay Moody. Now y'all want to be on his nuts. Here we go. Fourth quarter field goal. Look at this. If Jake, listen, and if this happens, if this is how it goes down, and Jake Moody gets the walk-off field goal for the win, I swear y'all better apologize to him on national, right here on the show. Overreaction show. Everybody better comment with an apology. Everybody. And if he doesn't, I will apologize to you right here on the show.
You guys are not going to like my score. It is a lot closer than a lot of people's score out there. I have it 20-17. Without Trent being out there.
Make all of them.
Marcus, you
usually see Breezy talking with the confidence that Jake Moody gonna go 6 for 6.
Sure enough was
with two
50-yard field goal, 50, 58, 53. Know what I mean? 49. Know what I'm saying?
I didn't say he made all of them.
Yeah, Marcus, you an asshole, dog. I just want you to know you certified A. Okay? Certified.
It's I have 20-17 of Brock Purdy is going to get a win on Monday Night Football.
Okay. So I like that. So Brock Purdy.
The context behind it, besides the field goals, the 49ers defense are going to make a massive play that's going to give the ball back to the offense so that Jake Moody can kick the field goal, the winning field goal, and win the game.
So she got it 17-17 and a Jake.
That's worse than yours, bro.
I know. I told you it was worse than his. I'm telling you, it's going to be it's without Trent out there, and I'm just saying it's going to be a different type of game. But all that matters at the end of the day is that the 49ers can pull this off. That will bode for a lot of confidence moving forward. To start off week 1 with a win, no matter how you get it,
I could dig that.
Can definitely bring a lot of confidence to some of those young players out there. So
I could dig that. I don't like it, but I could dig it. It sounds 49er epic Monday night talk. You know, it just sounds right? Aaron, like the league wants Aaron Rodgers to make this epic comeback, and they got to make sure that the game. I think the 49ers is going to be winning at halftime 17-0. I'm just telling you straight up. Like I think it's going to be 17-0. Yeah, 17-0 at the half. But nah, that's not how it's going to end though. See what I'm saying? It's going to end a little different. Right, you know what I mean? The question is, can the defense keep the Packers under 17 points? If they keep this team under 17 points,
the Jets.
The Jets. And the Jets only averaged 15 points last year. They ain't had nobody to the offense but some rookies, like and Mike Williams. Like I can tell you that right now. So they do got another outside threat. They are looking to score more. The Niners defense definitely got to show up. But
yes.
I think my score prediction is going to be Niners. We said without Trent, right? We going without Trent. We putting up 31 points. We're starting the season off 30. It's going to be 31-13. That's my score prediction.
Wow.
Niners defense will hold it down at home on Monday night. Brock Purdy gets his first dub at home on Monday night. I'm telling you right now, the Niners are going to hold it down with or without Trent. And I tell you what, Trent, I hope you talking, because if the Niners win 5 straight without you, bro, we might as well just retire. And at that point, I think they figured it out. You know what I'm saying? I've been holding you down for years. You know what I mean?
What the hell is the score going to be if Trent plays then?
34-13. Yeah, that's right. I'm standing on it. I'm standing on it.
So without Trent, we score 31. With Trent, we only get
34.
We get an extra field goal, bro.
Well, listen, let his ass retire now then.
I mean, that's the case.
You got to give Trent. That's what I'm saying. Trent, don't let this come back and bite you in the butt.
Wow.
It could get a little ugly. That's right. Listen, nitty gritty, we ugly. I mean, we look good, but we talk like, it's got to be ugly. I'm just saying, Trent. You know what I mean? Don't let this team go 5-0. That money, you losing money. Come on, man. Got to stay out the script clubs, dog. Come back to work, Trent. Be a part of this history. Yeah, I can't believe I gave us 3 extra points if Trent Williams played. Yo, that's wild. Like,
yeah, crazy.
That was crazy.
That's diabolical.
That really is.
That was insane. That's what that is.
I thought he was going to say like 40-something to, then whatever.
Nah, I don't think the Niners put up 40 points at all, period. But they're going to start the season off with the 30 Purdy. The 30 Purdy tour is back, man. This is the beginning of the season. We got a new Brock Purdy, And listen, I just believe in the team. I believe in the team. And we talked about if Kyle can do the right things, if he's on his Spike Lee shit, team should be fine. If Kyle makes the proper adjustments, if Kyle looks at his this is what I'm working with. I know you do this well. I know you do. We're going to do this. Kyle got to be on that Minority Report stuff and me moving the pieces. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? I need that, Kyle. I need that, Kyle.
Don't forget about Conley, because we didn't mention Conley at all. He's part of this offense too.
He is.
So we'll see. You don't know what Kyle, like.
That's 100%. 100%. So
don't know.
I still feel like Conley's the one that's gonna be let go to the practice squad. Not just my thing. It's just the way the politics falls. Not because he's not good. It's just because he can clear. There's no waivers to clear. They can offer him a deal. Listen, you'll be the first one we call up. Blah 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 blah.
Yeah,
right? Think about Willie Snead and them dudes, man. Like, and I'm not putting him in that category. I just feel like he's the expendable, unfortunately, because of his status in the NFL. But congratulations to him. He actually made the 53 roster. We got one more thing to do before we leave, and we can make it as quickly as possible. All right. I got 6 categories. Peachy, go ahead.
And I have one thing that I wanted to say real quick that we didn't even touch on is special teams. Our special teams has to be on point as well.
You know what? I'm not worried about the special teams because the special teams in the playoffs will not be the special teams in the regular season.
Right.
And what I mean by that is our starters in the play and it's not the playoffs, in the preseason. Our starters in the preseason were special teams players. So now they go back to special teams where they belong.
Right.
And the starters return.
That makes sense.
I'm expecting special teams to be On point. I really
Okay.
am. And with the
Good.
new kickoff rule, yo, we got some big boys on that. We got some big, fast, crack blocking type dudes on that thing. You got to look at how it's built. And so I actually think that the special teams will be all right, but I'm probably 100% wrong. Special teams is always trash for some reason.
I'm with Marcus though. With Conley being, like, I think Conley should be on special teams. He does a good job back there. So
Right,
love
but the
that.
question is, do they need those type of receivers there anymore? Like, because
Gotcha.
they can't take off until the ball is caught.
Right.
And so it
Yeah.
changes up everything.
Yeah, that's true.
And so, like,
That's a good
yeah, he
point.
was a great gunner, but I don't know if I don't know if the Niners still go that route. And so we'll see. We'll see. I agree. But
I think you might need one of those dudes as like a safety buffer.
say less.
Like, if somebody happened to break through, like, you might need somebody to like at
Just
least be able to track
With
somebody
speed,
down.
yeah, and he's got the speed too.
And
Like,
he's
you know what I
got it,
mean?
so.
Yeah. So,
But I think,
that's
I think it is more of what you said, because now it's so close quarters. I think I want guys that can
Break
shed blocks.
blocks. That's break them wedges.
I need
Yeah.
guys to like be able to move somebody out the way, and then to be able to free up space to go make the tackle. So
Yeah.
George Odom, the way Malik Mustafa played, I want to see Malik Mustafa on special teams light somebody up.
Yes.
And we got linebackers too now, right? And so, like, I'm talking about like Tatum
Robinson,
Bethune.
Tatum.
Yeah.
Man, listen,
Yeah.
Going crazy. Yeah.
listen. Like, now you see, like, so that's only because of the new rules is why
Yeah.
I'm saying what I'm
Yeah,
saying.
I
If
got
it
you.
wasn't, I think my Gunners, because and we didn't talk about Jordan Mason being promoted to running back 2, which
Yeah.
means guess what? His special teams roles are gone, and
Yep.
he was a special teams ace.
Yes.
You ace. So how do the Niners? I think Keyshawn Vaughn will be on that front line now, and so they got some players. Look, we want to do player award predictions. I said this was going to be something on the prediction show, and so I got some awards. All right, and so I want to know from Mose and Peachy. You only pick one player per category. All right, and you guys in the chat can participate one as well. But we want to know which players are going to finish in these particular categories. All right. So we'll save MVP for last. Let's start with Rookie of the Year. Which of the 49ers rookies do you feel will be Rookie of the Year? We'll go with Mose on the bottom, Peachy on the top. I'll close it off, and then we'll just snake around.
Renardo Green.
Okay. Renardo Green.
Oh man. I'm gonna go. Oh, okay. You know what? I'm just gonna go with my Dupluni because, and that right guard spot's gonna be very important. And if he excels, oh yeah,
I feel like
definitely
you guys
will deserve it.
You took the 2 players I was going to go with, but my reasoning behind those 2 players being up for it is because I feel like they see the field a lot. But I'm going to go on the offensive side. I think Jacob Cowing is going to make a
Yes.
splash, and he's going to make Kyle Shanahan not take him off the field. How about that? So I'll go with Jacob
I like
Cowing.
that.
He's going to force Kyle Shanahan to have to use him. And I expect Cowing this year to fill the role of, can you guess? He's not here anymore.
Wait, who?
I'm seeing if y'all can guess the player that I think Jacob Cowing's role will fulfill this year. He used to play for the 49ers. He became a free agent. They did not bring him back. They drafted Jacob Cowing.
Oh,
Uh-huh.
what's my man name?
Uh-huh.
That's a shame I done forgot his name already.
No, you didn't. It's there.
Yes, I know who you talking about. Peachy, what's my man name?
I can't think. I'm trying to think.
That's crazy. We forgot it.
I know. Sorry, forgot.
All right. So Strawberry Reacts put it in the chat
there it is.
first. And I
Oh,
wanted to go with Ray
Ray.
McLeod, man.
Ray
This is
McLeod.
this is who Ray had the speed. Remember we watched Ray. Remember that play that him and Kittle was like in the same spot at the same time? Like somebody
Yeah.
ran the wrong route. But at the end of the day, he had the speed to take the top off the D. What sold me on Jacob Cowing was I was watching the game, and Ancho can attest to it because he's an Arizona fan. Yo, I'm gonna use my phones. Cowing, he black, so he this one. All right, so Cowing, this is the coverage. So Cowing, I'm trying to run. I can't do it right. So Cowing is running, and the coverage is there. It's double coverage. I only got two hands. Cowing like kind of sits and then into the end zone and catches a touchdown over three people. Yo, I was like, what? Like that? Like what kind of speed is that? Like what the hell? How did you turn it off and turn it on? How did you sit and then turn it on? It like that's Cowing. So like his playability and his able to start and go, I think is something different. So I'm gonna go with Jacob Cowan. I wanted to go Isaac Garendo, but I'm not sure if he'll see the field a lot. It's gonna be really hard to crack that rotation. Yeah. So all right, so we got rookie of the years out there. Let's go with defensive player of the year. We'll go with Peachy first, Moles, and I'll end it.
Defensive player of the year. Wow. That's a I'm gonna go with Bosa. Bosa has had a complete offseason, complete training camp, like been there every second for everything, compared to last year. He was still effective last season. Bosa himself said that he is so glad that he didn't have all the pressure on him and everything like that, and that he's just ready to go to war. And I'm really looking for Bosa to have a huge season. It wouldn't surprise me if Nick Bosa might come after that sack record this year, that NFL that everybody tries to cover. I tell you, Bosa's out to prove a lot of things, because a lot of people said some crazy things about him last year. That he said that himself, that he's definitely got a new mindset and just ready. So I'm looking for great things from Nick Bosa this year.
I like it. Nick Bosa, Mose, who you going with defensively? Tough, right?
Defensive player of the year for the 49ers?
Yeah.
Okay. I was going to go with 54.
Okay.
But then I thought about it. I'm going to cut that number in half. I'm going with 27. I'm going with Jair Brown.
Oh,
as the defensive
I love
player
that.
of the San Francisco 49ers. I think he has all of the pieces around him. If Breezie is saying that Javon Hargrave is going to step his game up this year and provide that pressure up the middle, if Peachy is saying that Nick Bosa wants to come after that sack record and is going to be a man on a mission off the edge, if we have pieces that can take pressure off of those two guys, like a Leonard Floyd also coming off the other edge when he gets back healthy, if Diamador Lenore is locking people up on the outside and so is Mooney Ward locking people up on the outside, then guess what? Quarterback's not going to have a many places to go. And you mean to tell me our ball hawking young free safety who made a lot of plays last year in spot duty in a backup role, who now is our starting safety and gets to just be out there and gets to play with feel, play with anticipation? I got to go with my Jersey brethren. I got to go with Tig Brown, 49ers Defensive Player of the Year.
Only thing I'm going to say
love it
about my cousin Tig, he don't know we related yet because my family from PA, so we related. The only thing I'm going to say is that boy vocal. And so do you know what it's like to be a communicator on the defensive field? And it was really cool watching Fred kind of like co-sign a rookie.
Yep.
And a second year player in practice. Yeah, that's like that. Oh man, that's a good one. That's a good one. I wasn't expecting him. I wasn't expecting that.
I wasn't either.
I'm sure everybody's expecting me to say my favorite defensive player on the team. And Fred, you are my guy. And you should win every accolade that comes your way. But there's a player on the team that is playing with a little bit more of a chip on his shoulder and a different type of dog. A dog that we are like watching like groom into this like grown ass dog. Like you want to see a player that went from a pup to like adult dog. I gotta go with my boy Demo, bro. Like
Yeah.
I don't know what he did. I don't know. All I know is that cat is playing with a different type of fire. I think when he hit DeAndre Swift, he realized he belonged in the league. I will use every freaking Philly reference I can find because I hate that freaking team. Do you understand what I'm saying?
Yo, when he hit and then he got up, was like,
Listen.
yo.
Yes.
See, now I got to go to YouTube and find that hit.
That was so awesome.
I gotta
Listen.
see it again.
I'm telling you, that's going to be my defensive player of the year. He's always been playing with a chip on his shoulder. He's always been and here's the thing, like, yo, no cap, Philly, rookie season, first time I felt like I ever been to this stadium, and Demo gets burnt, like back-to-back plays. One play he got saved by out of bounds, literally, like, right? Quez Watkins kind of ran out of bounds and whatever. Ran out of bounds, ran back inside, but Quez still caught the ball. I was like, he gonna struggle. It's gonna be a minute. Remember that was I see the walk. I'm like, okay, all right. And then look at where he is now. So Demo, defensive player of the year. Not trying to keep us here all night.
That's
all right.
great.
We're going to be done hopefully before the 2-hour mark. First 2-hour episode of Nitty Gritty is a holiday. You guys are getting a special. Be happy. We'll be back 9 o'clock, I believe, regularly on Monday nights. All right, here we go. Comeback player of the year. Can we all agree it's probably going to be the same person? Or does I want to hear what you guys, who you got. We go with Peachy first, right? We went with Mose first last time.
Comeback player of the year?
Comeback player of the year. Year.
Wow.
Y'all slow, because I got mine.
You
I
can
got
go, Mose.
mine.
You can go ahead, Mose.
Listen, I'm a defensive lineman at heart. Y'all know that. Y'all see y'all know how y'all know.
Yeah.
I think this 49ers secondary has a chance to be one of the best secondaries.
That's who I thought he
in a
was
long
going
time.
to say. Yes, sir, it does. Historical.
We all touching agreeing on this player, right?
I went with Tig
Uh-huh.
as the defensive player of the year.
Uh-huh.
And I think because Tig is going to play so well,
Yes.
that's going to allow the Tonga Tiger.
I don't got a tiger
Yes,
sound.
sir.
Damn it.
So we got listen, we got we got Tig and we got Tonga. Like we got
Bro, speaking
Yes.
the tigers that's in the back that's gonna be running.
we got a Tongan tiger. We got a bounty tiger.
And when you think about tigers and you think about how they roam around their atmosphere,
A little different than lions. A little different than lions.
It's
A lot different.
than lions.
Mm-hmm.
Tigers are more precise. They're a little bit more stealth. Just the way that they roam.
They calculated, right?
They're very calculated.
Very calculated.
Now we got two of them. So I think Tig is going to be defensive player, and I say Huff is going to be comeback.
Oh, yeah.
Huff for you too, Peach?
Yes.
It's Huff for me.
It's
man.
Huff.
It
It's
wasn't.
Huff.
I'm not saying because he was the only player that was dealing with an injury. We don't know the status of Dre Greenlaw. He is on the PUP, but Huff has been cleared.
Yes.
He'll probably be eased back in there. But I believe Huff returns back to all pro form of Huff, even if it's only in 12 games. Like, I think you get the best of Huff. And let me just remind everybody, as bad as Huff was playing last year, before the injury, he still had led the team in interceptions. He had 3 interceptions before anybody on this team. Like, it was 3 for a long time.
Yes.
And Ward finished with 5. So that lets you know that Huff was an interception leader in a very small amount of games. I'll leave it at that. Huff is going to be the man. I think we can all agree it's going to be Huff.
Moses is definitely right about us. We could have an all-time great secondary. Like, it could literally happen.
This secondary feels like, remember that who had the greatest secondary probably the Seahawks, right? Like they had a hard hitting secondary,
Yeah.
But no,
but they were great at it because
They
Earl
were
Thomas
good.
was a beast.
Oh, God,
Well,
yeah.
I'm thinking of
Baltimore Ravens.
no.
Oh, who are you thinking of?
I'm
'Cause who
thinking-
else played with Ed Reed? That's what I can't remember. Like,
I'm thinking 2013.
nah, I didn't think our secondary was great in 2013. It was good. They made really big hits, but I don't think it was a great secondary. This team is going to lead. The 49ers are going to lead the league in interceptions this year. They
That
tied
right
last
there.
year.
That
And they were
one.
almost
Ooh.
now that they bought that secondary. I mean, like we purchased Deion Sanders, we purchased Toy Cook. I remember we purchased Tim McDonald. Was
Yeah.
there anyone we didn't buy that year?
We had we definitely had a whole bunch of mercenaries just to get this.
They wanted a
done,
Super
that's for
Bowl,
sure.
and they hated Dallas too. Like I don't know if you remember
Right.
that. Like they hated Dallas. That 94 team was different though. But I'm trying to think, who played with Ed Reed? Because Ed Reed was dope, but who else was there? Was Rod Woodson there at the time? Can't remember.
Woodson was there for a little bit.
That Baltimore Ravens secondary was tight, but I felt like it was
was.
just Ed Reed. That's why I said Seattle, because that boom was
Did they have Chris McAllister? But I think he's a corner.
either way he in the secondary. Like, you know what I mean? I'm thinking of the 4 players.
Yeah, McAllister was definitely one of them too. It was
They said McAllister. Thanks,
who
Slick.
else was in there?
I cannot remember. It's just Ed Reed. It's Ed Reed and Ray Lewis and Haloti Nada. Like them 3 people on that defense, that was just ridiculous.
Yeah.
You know? So we'll figure it out. I just wanted to put
Yeah.
that up. Let's go with most improved player of the year. Most improved player of the year.
I got mine.
See, go ahead, Peachy.
I'm gonna go with Jawan Jennings.
Oh, the Tennessee. Oh, Tennessee.
I think I'm gonna go with my Tennessee Vol guy because I feel like that he's on the cusp of turning. Like the Super Bowl gave us a taste of what this guy can do. I'm really, really excited to see him in this offense this year. I think he's going to have a monstrous season, and I think a lot of people aren't ready for that. And it's gonna be great. So that's who I'm going with.
I'm
going with Jennings.
Ain't no pushback from me.
Nah, no pushback here. I like that one. I'm gonna stay on the offensive side of the ball.
I hate this guy.
Hey, listen. Nigel might not be wrong. I'm gonna go with J.P. Mason.
Okay.
I love it.
And I'm saying that just because, you know, self-proclaimed, he said that he didn't have the mindset the past couple of seasons, you know, that running backs coach Bobby Turner wanted him to have. So this offseason, he spent his own money, bought himself a jugs machine, and was catching passes to improve on his receiving ability.
Yeah.
He was watching film to improve on his blocking ability. We already know that he runs aggressively, but I think him maturing and stepping into the knowledge of that he wasn't giving it his all. He wasn't preparing like a pro. He wasn't doing the things necessary to be a great player. Now that he has that mindset and he's been doing those things, we can't help but to see an improved product on the football field. And with him being elevated to running back 2, I'm excited to see that. So I'm going to go with Jordan Mason.
Jordan Mason, J.P. Mason is Moses' most improved player. Jawan Jennings, you can tell I'm getting sleepy because my voice getting deeper. Peachy's most. Welcome to Midnight Love. I'm your host, Steve Wayne. You can't make me laugh.
We're going to have a different nitty gritty.
After dark, baby. We taking this. Let's take this show to the OnlyFans network. All right. All right, I'm gonna give you a player. We talked about him earlier tonight. I'm gonna go with Javon Hargrave. I think Javon Hargrave will prove why he is worth the money that the 49ers paid him. You guys got to remember the Niners be getting pieces, and I don't think they be meant for that first year. They take what they could get out of that contribution, but I think it's a little transitional phase that happens when you go from one system to the next. I think the Niners knew that. I think when they do these contracts, they kind of prepare for stuff like that. But I think Javon Hargrave has put in the time, has put in the effort in the offseason. Which about the number one double team player in the NFL. It was Javon Hargrave. I think he saw double teams more than Myles Garrett, Nick Bosa, like all these players. They made sure they found a way to not allow him to be disruptive. But I tell you what, the Niners went and add some other pieces so that it could free up some of these guys with these double teams. I think Javon Hargrave is going to have a great season for his most improved. I know people were let down last season. Don't let that fool you. It's a new season, as Israel Hofton would say. All right, let's go with MVP. We'll cap this show off, and we are out in that 2-hour mark. And I didn't say Bell. I did not say Bell. Nigel.
Oh wow. I'm gonna MVP. You know what? I'm gonna go with Christian McCaffrey.
I mean,
Yeah,
you think he gonna argue with you? I'm not gonna argue.
I think that. Yeah. Yep.
I don't even think you need an explanation. But I think Christian McCaffrey is probably arguably the best non-quarterback in the game. As far as offensive weapon, like offensive players, because offense, these quarterbacks, your Lamar Jacksons, your Josh Allens, they just always gonna stand front and center. Patrick Mahomes, those guys, right? But if we're not talking about quarterbacks, Christian McCaffrey is probably the best offensive player in the game.
Yeah.
Hands down. And I think he could do it year in and year out.
Yes.
On this particular team, I think it's built for him to do that. And with the addition of give JP Mason snaps, I think that helps us out in the long run.
Yeah.
Like, Mose, who you going with MVP?
I mean, MVP is consistently a quarterback award, but I'm not going there today. Now, you would think, well, if you're going to say this about this next player, why didn't you give him Defensive Player of the Year? Well, I think because his play,
I know where we go.
Because of his play, I think it allows our Defensive Player of the Year to have the year that he has.
Yes.
But because of his play and allowing the Defensive Player to be the Defensive Player of the Year, that's why he's going to be MVP. I'm going with Nick Bosa. If Nick Bosa gets anywhere close to that sack record,
I'm telling you,
23 sacks.
If Nick Bosa gets 20 or more sacks,
it can happen.
He is the MVP of this team because that is going to be the engine that drives the defense. If Nick Bosa sniffs 20 plus sacks, then that means Javon Hargrave is able to eat. That means Leonard Floyd is able to eat. That means Fred Warner and Devondre Campbell and Dre Greenlaw, when he comes back, get to fly around and do what they do. And that's be heat-seeking missiles and hit whoever has the football. That means Charvarius Ward, and that means Diamador Lenore and Renardo Green. They don't have to cover for a long time. That means Talanoa Hufanga and Jair Brown can be the safeties on the back end and make sure nothing gets beyond them. If Nick Bosa sniffs 20-plus sacks, this defense is going to be the number one defense in the league, and he will be the MVP of this team.
All right.
You threw me a curveball because I thought you was going to go with the heart and soul of the defense and Fred Warner. I was like, I thought maybe Fred's going to get – and I know the last only linebacker to ever win MVP in the NFL is Lawrence Taylor. The only right outside linebacker, 3-4 defense. You can call him a defensive end if you want, whatever. At the end of the day, he's still the only one. and they're a linebacker, outside linebacker. He's the only person. The other MVP awards in the National Football League have only been running backs, and there was a kicker and a defensive tackle back in 1971. I believe his name was Alan Page. So I don't know why I know this shit. I just know it. I don't understand. So David, thank you so much, David McNiner, for the little interesting tip right there. All right, cool. So I'm left to go. I'm gonna go into obvious. Because I and it's not because it's a contract season. I think Brock still hates that he was Mr. Irrelevant. And I think he hates the simple fact that the league still feels he's Mr. Irrelevant. Because what's going to happen is he's going to get to this point where, oh, well, maybe Brock's just not the guy. Yeah, he could get him to the NFC Chip. Maybe it's all Kyle Shanahan. Maybe it was the weapons that they had around him. Like, this is the noise that Brock is going to continue to hear. And so it's tough for me to like not defend him, because it's like, dude, are you watching Brock? Or are you watching highlights of what you think you see? No, like, you have to watch this kid. His processing is elite. Like, he rarely makes mistakes, and when he does, it's because he's trying something. He's forcing something.
Right.
And so, like, if his processing remains elite, because once you're elite, I don't think you got to work on another area of your games, like basketball. Like, you could be an elite, finisher at the rim, but can you shoot the three? Not, like figure your game out. Like, whatever Brock did this offseason, first full offseason as a starting quarterback for the San Francisco 49ers, healthy, I really think we're going to get a different type of Brock. That does not mean Brock will come out, though, for 5,000 yards, but that 4,500 number is creeping. And I think it's very doable. He was 230 yards shy, or 270 yards shy of 4,500 last year. And we're talking about Ayuk having a great year, Kittle remaining 1,000 yards. I think even Deebo Samuel creeps into the 1,000. That's 3,000 right there. So I'm just saying, I think Brock's going to be MVP of the team, possibly MVP of the league, since it's definitely a quarterback's award. All right, so Brock Purdy will be my MVP. All right, just wanted to put that out there, man. So hope you guys had a great time on today's show. Mose, it's so good to have you here. Peachy's always good to have you here. And this season is going to be crazy, because we're going to have our ups, we're going to have our downs. I can tell you right now, if you want the realest reactions, wins or losses, make sure you tune into the Nitty Gritty Niners Overreaction Show. It will be 30 minutes after the game, because I have to go live on Bleacher Report immediately following the game, and then we'll come on. We won't be before you long. We'll give you 45 minutes of raw, straight up overreacting. Hopefully I don't calm down by then, because I can't do any of that stuff on Bleacher Report. So I'm coming here to let it out. I can tell you that right now. I don't care about YouTube and whatever. I'm coming here to let it out, win or lose. But Niners. Real quick before we dip out, does y'all record predictions change with the absence of Trent Williams? Because mine remained 13-4. I think that was mine.
I'm sticking with what I had. I think I was the same thing.
Yes, Peachy? No?
Me too.
Okay, just curious.
Yep.
You just curious. So don't complain about Trent then. Like, I just wanted to put that out there. All right, so guys, thank y'all so much for tuning in to the Nitty Gritty Niners crew. To the next Monday, man, we'll be back. Y'all stay up. Y'all stay faithful. We out this joint. Peace.
Hey.
Breezy,
Gritty, this that Niners
Mose knows.
Peachy.
It's about that time, everybody turn your TVs on. The Mose knows Peachy, Breezy, and Fair to God. They keep it nitty gritty when they bring you 9 to talk. We two gorilla, silverback, 9 silver
You know it's
hawks.
busting good discussion, cause we get it in. Every time, we grinding, I was 8 to 10. We always play to win. The faithful going hard. It's WayneBreezie, Peachy, Mose knows, and Fair to God. Let's get it.
Nitty gritty, this the Niners talk. Don't like it, better take a walk. Nitty gritty, this the Niners talk. We outline players up in chalk. Nitty gritty, this the Niners talk. Don't like it, better take a walk. Nitty gritty, this the Niners talk. Nitty gritty, this the Niners talk.